Hey friends, welcome back to the Cutlass Board Games channel, and this is the final episode of our little mini-series about building the Kickstarter page for Murders at Tealwoods Manor. The idea of the series was to kind of demystify some of what goes into building a page, and each individual section I would come in and build stuff, and you could have a look at my terrible Photoshop skills getting to work, but you got to kind of see what the different template of the whole page was coming together. And I was going to record a whole nother section about like the stretch goals and stuff, but I wasn't able to because I had a lot of other stuff going on. It gets really busy as you get close to the Kickstarter launch. But last night we had a whole big team meeting, went over the page, confirmed everything, it looks good, it's ready to go. We are launching in 2 days, and this is what the page is going to look like. I figured I would do a quick run through with you so you can have a look at what's going on and explain what the different sections are and stuff like that. So you can kind of see, get a little bit of a sneak peek before it happens. So we're just going to be going through the story section. As you can see up the top, there is a bunch of different parts. In basics is where you have like your trailer and your goal and all that kind of stuff. Rewards is just the back of tiers. People, it's just who's plugged into able to be managing the account, and then payment is all like my details, and promotion is the pre-save link, which you will find in the description. But let's get started with the cover image. So I've done this for every campaign that I've done, and I think it's pretty important, and it's an image that has basically your primary logo, some key art kind of a thing. Has your play count, has the minutes, has how complex it is. In the past, I've put artist credits and designer credits on here, but because there's like 5 of those for this game, I figured it wasn't really worthwhile. So instead, I did a summary. So reverse murder mystery worker placement and drafting game is kind of just how it's my like 1-sentence elevator pitch for this game. So I've put that on here instead. And then Senator Lytton, one of our key characters. And if you saw this before, we have this nice little invitation thing. We tidied this up a little bit to improve the readability, but basically, I won't read out the whole thing. If you want to have a look at this, pause it and check it out. But basically, this is an introduction to how the character interacts with the theme. So how the player interacts with the characters and the theme, because the player is not directly present in the game. You are sort of witnessing it as an all-seeing, all-knowing third person. Then we've got what's in the box. So this is one that I've changed a whole bunch of times, and I have 2 different videos going over this. And this is the final one, which is completely different again. So start off with a foil wallboard with a mix of render and photo. Staircase, which is a photo, and the clue tokens, which is a photo. But a lot of other stuff that I had to go in and render out. Here's the board, it's the gossip tokens, last player marker, character tokens, character cards, and it's intentionally really long because it makes the game feel bigger than it actually is. And then the Castles of Calera promo cards. This was something that was not in the previous iteration of the what's in the box. This is what's in the box. This is, in my unboxing video, you can see the Castles of Calera promo show up. But we'll get back to that later. Then we have the unboxing video and how to play. So this is broken up into, so the what's in the box is one big image. This is broken up into text and images and GIFs. So I feel like breaking it up like this meant that I could use the GIFs from the media release party to the greatest effect and kind of show this off and like really get to see the game in action. Like you can actually see the game set up on the board and being played, which I think is like really important. And then some graphics that I put together. Objectives enhanced, explaining the lose or dies cards, And then this is a cute little gif at the end of all the people pulling distrusting faces at each other. Then we have the backer tiers. So we've got our first one, which is the supporter tier. This is the $1 holler. And basically, when you back at $1, everyone that follows your account gets a notification that you backed this game. You also get access to the pledge manager. You get emails with all the news, but also the number of backers is a algorithmic factor that Kickstarter uses to promote its page. So getting onto the supporter tier helps a lot. So if you're watching this video, go and drop $1 on the campaign. Because if you're a creator planning on using Kickstarter, you want to have an account that isn't 0 backed first created. Mine is 9 created, 158 backed at the moment. Plays Kickstarter a lot. But a lot of what I do is throw in the $1. And then I'll buy like a whole, I'll go like all in on pretty much every Australian game that I see. But my account, because I've run a few Kickstarter campaigns, has a bunch of followers in it, like 200 or something. And whenever I back one of these campaigns for $1, all of my backers will get a notification that I backed this campaign, and all of a sudden, this might be the first time they've ever seen it before, which is really, really interesting, and is a really helpful way to capitalize and help each other out and stuff like that. So, in your networking, if you found other creators that have Kickstarter before, their $1 is much more valuable than $1, and they can cancel it later. It's the notification that matters. So this one is really important, and also contains Discord rewards, because you'll get a special Kickstarter backer Discord reward in our server, so that you can have access to special channels to chat about the Kickstarter. Then we've got our base pledge, get the game, which is 70 AUD and 50 USD, because the conversion rate happens to work out like that. And yeah, it also has Discord rewards and has all the stretch goals. It gets the stretch goals later on. But that's kind of what we're looking at. I wanted to keep this pretty simple. Supporter tier is the one that really needed explanation there. And we've got the story campaign. So this is the Steam game that you can play for free on Steam. We, like, just last night released a big update, and it, like, doubled the playtime, but the playtime was already not very long, but doubled the playtime. And it took me like maybe 20 hours, maybe more, of just writing dialogue. But it's pretty good. I'm excited about that. So basically, the story companion lets you learn more about the characters and the story about what actually happens in the event. You are there, you are the investigator, and you are trying to solve the murder mystery. Whereas the board game is you're witnessing the events from the future and interacting with it as an unknown third person. And the plan for this is that people play the game on Steam. In the Steam game, in the main menu, there is a button that will take you to the Kickstarter page so you can buy the board game. And it just exists as a marketing asset, basically, because Steam has some built-in advertising stuff that costs nothing. That is very helpful for exposure, especially because it's a free game. Lots of people will see it. And put out the update, people will see it and go, "Oh, actually, a board game?" So I'm hoping that we'll get some traffic from that. I don't think it'll be a lot, but it's both worth it in both directions, right? Bringing people from Steam to this, but also people that see this and go, "Oh, a Steam game? That's kind of cool." Makes it feel like there's more value in the campaign. And I have the Steam trailer. Then we've got reviews and media. So I've got some placeholders for the people that I haven't got the videos for yet, but Genders is so far submitted his. Then we have 2 others playing, Unfiltered, who I like a lot. Room and Board, who did a fantastic review for Letter Drop, but Letter Drop never went anywhere, unfortunately. And Ordinary Board Gamer. So Genders and Ordinary Board Gamer are nearby each other. And so they forwarded on the copy for the next person to do it. And that was one of the reasons why we picked them, because it was going to make it logistically easier to get the copy out to a few people. Whereas Unfiltered and Room and Board I've worked with before. So I'm a fan. And we have one more that's not here, because we're not sure if it's going to be embedded or not, or if it's just coming straight from a live stream. But We'll find out, I guess. Then we have the interview with as a post-player game interview where all the people from the media release event that played the game talked about the game that they played and what they liked about it. And then interview with the designer. And then we have my creation journey playlist, which is pretty much this video, all these videos together about making Tealwoods Manor is together in one playlist. So you can just go and have a look. Like you could be watching this after having been on the Kickstarter page and clicked onto this. So the idea is to be able to go back and have a look at the journey that it took all the way from the start. Like you can sort of see in the top corner, but this is what the very first prototype looked like. This is what the prototype that I took to PAX looks like. You can see it's got a completely different logo, and this is what the final box looks like. So going through and seeing some of this stuff I think will be really interesting and gives you an idea about what the journey is kind of like. Then we have shipping. So this is a big one that I was really worried would be a problem for the campaign, but we've actually managed to get some pretty reasonable prices. Because we're shipping out from Melbourne, it means that we can have it really cheap for Australian backers, which is really impressive for us. And us as Australians. Normally, Australians buying anything on the internet means that you're expecting obscene shipping prices. But this time it's the opposite, which is nice. And we've able to try and cut down on the Northern Hemisphere stuff, but we are partnering with Quest suppliers, right? I'm always really stressed about the fulfillment stuff. In the past, I just used send from China. I was like, look, you guys just handle it. Here's the list. And this time, because it's a bigger game, I think it's going to be a lot harder. So with the Quest suppliers, that means that they have literally existing shipping lanes and like experience and stuff like that, and they'll be able to come on and help and solve this problem for me. And we have a stretch goal at 150% funded where we'll be able to make shipping prices cheaper for Northern Hemisphere backers by using a second fulfillment method, which I think helps a lot in us overcoming this hurdle of having expensive shipping prices. And I think that would have been like the main pitch point for people struggling to get onto the campaign. So what are the stretch goals? Well, we don't know. We don't know yet. So we have one revealed stretch goal, which is the cheaper Northern Hemisphere shipping prices. We then have a few hidden stretch goals because we've gamified it a little bit. So all stretch goals are hidden, and you can collect clues to reveal stretch goals. And the way that you collect clues is hitting fan on the BGG page, is installing the Steam game for free, is retweeting the pinned tweet on my account, which is literally just going to be a link to the campaign. Unique user comments on the Kickstarter campaign page, which is one of the metrics that they use to push the page as like hot or whatever, and reach the 50% funded mark. So every 50% funded mark, we're talking 50, 100, 150, and so on, will automatically reveal a new stretch goal. So this text will be updated every time that happens. And every time you get a clue, one of these boxes will be filled in with the magnifying glass icon, and a new thing would be revealed. So the first couple are stretch goals, and then the Castles of Killer promo is revealed, so you actually get to see what the cards are when we hit the spot. And I've got one planned as a secret for later on, so I think that's going to be really exciting as well. But this is basically what we've planned on putting it all together. Then we have meet the team. So you might have seen this one in an earlier video already, but we've got the panel of me as a designer, we have the panel of Ludius Games and the Quest Suppliers. So Ludius Games is the co-publisher, and Quest Suppliers is the parent company of Ludius Games, which is a store, like a board game store. And these two guys are helping me put this whole thing together, basically. And then we've got the artists. So there's 4 different artists that came together to make this game. So I put all of them in here as the different credits you can see. And specifically who did what, I think is interesting. I haven't seen, in my previous campaigns, I would just have one artist, and the one artist is just credited as a person on the project. Then we have media links. So the Murders at Tealwoods Manor game-specific links. So the Facebook page for the game, the BGG page is here, listed under Murders at Tealwoods Manor. We then have all the Cutlass board game stuff, which is all of my socials, basically. Then we have the Ludius Games, which is the co-publisher, and then we have the Quest Supplies specific stuff. But then we have all the socials for the artists. And then we have the special thanks and the risks and challenges. So that's kind of the whole page. A lot went into this. Went into making this. I did almost all the graphics design myself, and I'm not a very good graphics designer. And I think it turned out really well. Obviously, there's some stuff that could look more professional or sexy or whatever, but for the Kickstarter page, you want it to accurately reflect you as a creator, right? I'm not a big company with 100 people and $1 billion. I'm one dude in his home office, that sleeps in his home office, trying to make this together with, my tiny budget. Doing everything myself, wearing nearly every hat, So when people come along and they see that, and especially with videos like this makes it really transparent as to what's going on, because you can see that I went and built everything myself. I'm the one guy on the ground doing all this stuff. And a lot of what the Quest Supplies is helping me with is post-campaign. With all the fulfillment and stuff like that, and what we're doing with the stock afterwards, because they are a store, right? But pretty much everything from before now, from 2 years ago in the initial prototype up until now, is pretty much all me. And then hiring designers and hiring artists and commissioning the different art for the game and putting everything together. I still did a lot of graphics design myself on the game. I don't think you could probably tell who did what. But that's sometimes how it's got to be. You got to have all these different skills, all these different hats to bring a project to life, because more things I do myself is money I'm not paying someone to have to do. But sometimes you have to pay someone to do a thing because their skill level is going to be more important. For example, I got David Richards to do all the graphics, the overall graphics design for the game, because it needed it, and the rulebook and stuff needed it. If anyone see the Castles of Kalira rulebook, which I made 5 years ago, you can see 5 years ago my graphics design skills were a fifth as good as they are now, right? And even still, I probably shouldn't be attempting that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of stuff that kind of goes into these big Kickstarter projects. So having a big board game. And if you are interested in getting your own copy of Murders at Tealwoods Manor, there's going to be a link in the description for you to check out the Kickstarter yourself. Come along, check it out, have a look for it. Even just check it out as it's throughout the campaign duration, because you'll see stuff change, you'll see stuff what's going on. And I think it would be an interesting exercise for the average person, or the average creator who's looking to do something like this, to see exactly what it was like at minute 0, and then see how it's progressed throughout the thing as well. So definitely follow along the journey, and hopefully this has been something that's helps you get an idea for what's going on. I have been trying to make these videos to kind of explain how my day job works, what I'm really doing every day. I'm not just sitting around thinking about game ideas. I do a lot of different stuff. I wear a lot of hats. And YouTuber, it's just a small percentage of them. But hopefully this was something interesting. We do have a lot of other Murders at Tealwoods Manor content on the channel, but I also fill the channel with stuff like Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Marvel Snap, if you want to check out some of that as well. I'll have buttons up on the screen for you to click on and check out some of those things. And while you're having a look around, hit the like and subscribe button, because that helps a lot. It really does. I talk a lot about the algorithm and how different things work and boost stuff, and hitting the like and subscribe button helps a lot. And I do appreciate all the support that I can get. Unfortunately, this career is one that relies on people helping out. It takes a village, as they say. So hopefully hopefully we'll see you on the campaign.